Now it's about time we really nailed this moon thing once and for damn good. So there'll never be any argument again. Look, if you got in this little capsule here and you spent 2 weeks in that little capsule, 3 people, now you have to breathe and shit and drink and eat something to stay alive for 2 weeks. Now the rest of the body of the thing is full of all sorts of tanks and things. They look like they've got some access in the middle from the diagrams that they throw up. But as we know, nothing ever looks the same anyway. There's quite a bit of diversity if you look around in the images that are put up. And here it looks like it's got a wealth of space inside, but if you look at other diagrams, there's not much space at all. And look at that well-lit look. We've come to expect that from certain angles. They've just got things built up on one side they stand against, etc. We know this. But for people who don't, look at the size of these 2 things, right? And these are supposed to eject themselves out of the rocket. That's right, they come out of the end of the nose cone of the rocket and spin around and join up and all sorts of what have yous. It's quite a complicated looking exercise to say the least. But the thing is, even if you put some people in this little thing and put them out in the Mojave Desert for 2 weeks, right, and gave them, very little provisions that could be stored in, just a teepee like that, and all their piss and shit in there, the logistics are a nightmare. They would get sick very, very quickly and very sick. It's just not feasible, you see. Humans need a little bit more space than that, and they never presented us with enough space to really accomplish anything that would be like this. But I challenge that space and the moon and that aren't what they're saying anyway, that we've been led totally down different garden paths here. But irrespective of that, just by their science and what they claim, it's big logistics nightmares. And none of the images, as you can see, really look like anything better than the Thunderbirds. That's right, you compare this with a Thunderbirds image. See, what I'd contend to you is not only if you put 3 people in the Mojave Desert and you flew them in a rocket there and back, that would be impossible. Even if you dropped them off on the back of a truck. And look, I'll further go, if you had 3 people in your backyard for 2 weeks and they had to survive in that little capsule, and again, all eating and all pooing and all other things, breathing inside the capsule, I tell you what, they'd be roasted in 2 weeks. It'd be blue in there. They'd be dead. Humans need more than that. Put yourself in a tent and just imagine what I'm saying. Plus you're in this really uncomfortable suit. You see, it just doesn't add up. It's inhumane to think that people could do this. It's just not big enough. Star Trek's what we want, where we can walk around and doors open and all that, right? Now, of course, you wouldn't believe that because, that just seemed too hard again, right? But you'll believe this, even though people are cramped inside a shoebox. And that's the sort of image that NASA puts up. That's a NASA image there of their feet. So there's just not much space in this back section. So they're always in that little front bit. And in the other lunar lander, of course, it's only a small little thing too. So again, with all the suits on, no room to move, and all that time. It's just improbable, implausible, it's just a lie. But people don't accept that because they like the idea of it. It sort of makes them feel proud to be American or Russian, or that the wonders of modern technology, this guy used to say to me. I used to say, hey, wait a minute, I'm not sure how wonderful this technology is, and I always smelt a few lies in things, and I was always cautious. But friends of mine, they were just, oh no, and always raving about something they'd read in the press and knew this and knew that. And that's what made me more skeptical, just their blind following of whatever whiz in the daily news about new achievements, and some of them I didn't think were that good or valid. I was always a bit skeptical, that's all. But this stuff here you can see. Put yourself in a box in your backyard for 2 weeks and you'll see what I mean. It's just impossible. It really is. People just don't think straight on it. For a day, maybe. 2 days, outside chance. By 3 and 4 days, man, we're stinking to high heaven, and by a week you're dead. And then I want you to add on to that you're travelling at these big speeds and getting injected up in a rocket. It's not just like getting dropped off by the truck in the backyard or in the Mojave Desert or wherever you want to name on top of a mountain. This is got a trip involved as well. So you've got to add that factor. And when you come back, you could roll around, couldn't you? Like the other thing that I've shown you, the booster rocket certainly has a few spins. So just that idea, just from the height of 100,000 feet, say you can go that high, and if you're falling and spinning, it wouldn't be healthy to be inside. Just go and watch the Chinese landing of the ball and how they drag the ball there anyway, but the impossibility of what they show in China, and that should show you the Americans just a little bit better. And the parachutes are the best Disneyland ever. Now, if this thing was really falling at the high velocity, it would be even from 80 or 100,000 feet. And these 3 parachutes are going to pull it up. The weight of 3 men and all that metal, it's going to have some inertia about it. And where do the parachutes get stored? Where do all the cables and that get stored? Come on now, look at the scale there. Those parachutes are quite big, and there's 3 men in that little capsule as well, and all their life support systems. You see how impossible all this is? And look at the way they show it hitting the water. That's not much better than the Chinese, mate. That's quite a whack. So that's your reward. You die on hitting the ocean. I mean, at the end of the day, the ocean's like concrete. Look at the size of the splash and everything. You'd be dead inside from a splash like that. That's not slow enough. And then there's all this fake with the rubber rings and all this business, getting them out. And look at that yellow soup on the side of it. What's that? Yeah, that's like it's been in the sea for a couple of weeks or something. That's a weird thing. It's got egg on it. I mean, that's just a little Masonic joke between the brethren, no doubt. They've got these little things they like to do, because this is another little one. Look, men on TV in the box and talking to the president. Now, if that doesn't show you what a fake it was, how inhumane. If stuffed them in a box for 2 weeks, sent them, they reckon, 500,000 miles, when they come back they keep them in a box. These people should be locked up. And as if, as soon as that photo shoot's over, they're out the back and down the bar. Look, this is just a joke, and look at the short arms on old Nixon, so that should be tiddlywink, say no more, nudge, nudge. And that's how these people operate. They don't operate overnight, they operate in increments. But that should show you exactly, look at this photo. Can you believe it?